As 6 candidates filed their nominations for the Shillong Parliamentary seat, Returning Officer SC Sadhu highlighted preparations for the upcoming elections. With 25 vulnerable polling stations identified, he said that measures are in place, including the deployment of CAPF and paramilitary forces. Sadhu added that the observers have assessed the readiness ahead of Lok Sabha elections, while adding that efforts are on to address concerns of urban apathy with targeted initiatives. Meanwhile, he further said that they have ensured accessibility to all voters, offering home voting and assistance for physically challenged individuals and seniors.
Preparations, we are ready for elections in the sense that for now, after this scrutiny of the nominations, we will finalize the total number of contesting candidates. And we have the sufficient number of EVMs in our district, and for the transportation of the polling parties, vehicles have been arranged and all are available. Sufficient vehicles are available in the district. At the same time, we have sufficient number of polling personnel and they have been properly trained. One round of training has already been held and 2 more rounds of training will be undertaken for their proper training, so that they can handle these machines and all these forms on the day of poll. And we have also in fact identified the vulnerable pockets in the district, and polling stations, we have around more than 25 polling stations which are vulnerable in the sense of previous history and previous poll percentage also. And we are taking enough measures by deploying CRPF forces and videographing of all these polling stations, and also observers have already landed in the district and they are visiting these pockets which have been identified as vulnerable pockets in the districts. So we have 1 general observer, 1 police observer and 2 expenditure observers for entire Shillong parliamentary constituency covering 7 districts. In fact, expenditure observers, they have visited on 20th of this month, and already they had 1 round of interaction with our expenditure monitoring teams. And police observer and general observer, they arrived yesterday. In fact, today they took stock of the preparedness of the district in terms of both general perspective and law and order perspective also. And tomorrow they are having an interaction through VC mode with all DCs and SPs of all the 7 districts. What we see is that urban apathy is one of the factors that we have observed in the assembly elections also. When we compare the rural assembly segments, urban assembly segments poll percentage is less. But when we even have studied the poll percentage of MP elections of 2019 and assembly elections of 2023, there is a significant drop, like difference, as I said, 20% difference. So this is mostly urban apathy, and people, they mean like for we also see that being a parliamentary election, they are not fully participative in this process. So in those areas, particularly young voters, first timers, and these areas we are focusing, like we are even targeting education institutions and youth groups, sports associations, likewise. So where in polling stations, like under assured minimum program, assured minimum facilities, we have taken measures particularly for physical PWDs, physically and infirm voters, to particularly for arranging for the ramps, and we are also setting up wheelchairs in all these polling stations so that we can facilitate voters, particularly senior citizens and PWDs. At the same time, for women voters, wherever women are there, in like 1 polling station for both women and male and female, so there will be separate queues for women polling stations. On the top of it, as you all know, that for 85 plus age voters, so home voting is also one of the options. It is not mandatory, but whoever wants to exercise their franchise from their home for PWDs which have benchmark PWD, benchmark disability and 85 plus. So we already shared those forms with them. So through BLOs, whoever wants to exercise from their home, and we will go, our polling teams will go to their homes and facilitate the voting with full protocol.